bosses in Mario games are most of the time always amazing, so I decided to make a top 10 of some of my personal favorites. Keep in mind, this top 10 is not based off of how difficult the bosses are, it's mostly going to be based off of creativity. So, let's get started. Number 10 is Super Mario Sunshine. If I'm being honest, this is definitely my favorite Mario game, but it definitely does not have my favorite boss. The thing with this boss is, it's honestly way too simple. The boss is generally easier than the regular levels in the game, but we're not talking about difficulty. So after finishing the platform in Corona Mountain, you'll soar up to the clouds and use your rocket nozzle to soar up high into the air and ground pound. You'll do this about 4 or 5 times, and besides Bowser Jr. shooting bullet bills and Bowser sometimes jumping up and shaking the bath, the problem with this boss is, like I said, it's way too simple and could have been a lot better for the GameCube standards. And number 9 is New Super Mario Bros. U. Straight away, yeah, you're gonna realize that this is a New Super Mario Bros. Game. Better than freaking Sunshine. And while yes, these New Super Mario Bros. Games, specifically New Super Mario Bros. 1 and 2, have simple bosses like the original Mario Bros. But Mario Bros. U has a better boss than both of these games in my opinion. You'll get Bowser Jr.'s clown card and jump on him and then take it to the sky. You'll fly down on Bowser's head 3 times and finish the battle. It's not the best boss of all time, but it's still good nonetheless. Number 8 is Super Mario 64. This boss, I'm gonna be honest, isn't the most creative. It's basically the same thing as the first 2 bosses, and it's basically the same thing, but then you're just throwing Bowser into a bomb 3 times instead of 1. Though the second boss in Bowser, he actually teleports, but if you don't grab his tail for too long. But for some reason, the final boss, this doesn't make any sense to me. In the final boss, he does not teleport at all. If he did, that would have made the boss fight more like a final boss. It's not supposed to be that simple, so if you miss a throw, then Bowser jumps back onto the surface, and he'll make some electricity form through the ground, and if you wait too long and don't grab his tail, he shoots a lot of fire around the place. Since it's basically the same boss fight as the first 2 before, but with 3 throws, it's really just holding me back from putting it in a better spot in the list. Number 7 is Super Mario World. To start off, yes, I am saying a 2D game has a better boss than a 3D one, but so let me explain. You know how Mario 64 basically just recycled the same boss 3 times, including the final one? In Super Mario World, the bosses are really different from the others that are already in the game. In this one, it's generally more creative in my opinion. After you get through the doors, you'll get to Bowser and his clown cart, and it's actually something that we hadn't seen before. And you're about to see the exact reasons why I think this boss greatly expands on Mario Bros. 3's boss. When you see Bowser and his clown cart, he starts to move around, and they actually throw some Mecha Koopas out. Then you're supposed to grab them and then throw them up at a kind of precise time, and then hit Bowser. He'll start dropping boulders on the ground and then rinse and repeat. I think it has more to offer than Mario 64's final boss. Number 6 is New Super Mario Bros. Wii. So here's the last unique New Super Mario Bros. Boss, but before I continue, let me say, I personally actually never played New Super Mario Bros. Wii, besides the Mario Maker remake of 1.1 and 1.2, but I've played a pretty faithful remake in Little Planet 3. And I've also seen some gameplay, and I think it's a pretty epic boss fight. So on to the boss. After doing the old NES style Mario Bros. Fight, Bowser will go giant, which back then actually was not that common. Bowser starts causing massive destruction and destroying your surface. If you're not fast enough, you're definitely going to die. Listen with platforming, he shoots fireballs at you. I'm not sure if it's hard since, like I said, I've never owned this, but from what I remember, I never owned the game, but even though I never owned it, I'm gonna say this, it seems pretty epic. Number 5 is Super Mario 3D World. One of, but not the most underrated Mario game. that award definitely goes to Super Mario 3D Land and Mario Bros. 2, and just probably Mario Sunshine. The final boss in this game is epic, like New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Bowser once again grows giant, and expect that from every single New Super Mario Bros. Game from now on. What did I say new? Expect that from every Mario game from now on. So, Bowser actually takes the cat bell and turns into Meowser. Then you have to chase him down and jump through clouds. You actually watch for Bowser falling down, because if you touch him, unsurprisingly, you will get hit and lose your power-up, or if you're Baby Mario, a baby character, then die. And near the end, Bowser actually somehow clones himself. You use a pipe to climb up to the top, and then you climb some stairs and then jump on a power block. Multiple times while Bowser shoots purple flames while not even aiming for your character one single time. That's really the only thing that annoys me about this boss, in my opinion. Number 4 is Super Mario Odyssey, the newest Mario game. It definitely does not have the best boss fight of all time, if I'm going to be honest. It's good, don't get me wrong, but I think it could have been better. So Bowser, for some reason, he's a wimp, so he needs a hat with boxing gloves. What kind of sense does that make? Okay. Anyway, Bowser tries to hit you with the hat, but if you hit your hat on his, then you don't actually have access to his hat. Bowser jumps to 3 spots, making fire spread through the surface. He throws a couple brick boulders, and you've got to hit Bowser a bunch of times. And Bowser will swing his tail pretty fast and spread fire around. Then Bowser shoots fire sprint basically everywhere. He gets more hats and then throws them at you. One of them is actually the boxing gloves hat. Rinse and repeat, but duplicate every enemy once more every time you get hit. And yeah, it's a good boss, but I mean, it could have been better, if I'm going to be honest. And number 3 is Super Mario Galaxy 2. Again, I've never played this before, but I have played a remake, so now on to the boss. Bowser punches his hand into the moonlight platform, and if you're sitting in there, then Mario will have to go there, and then Bowser actually makes some electricity flow through the platform. Then Bowser will jump up, and he'll do it again, I guess. Then he'll laugh, and then some platforms will fall down. Mario has to get on top of them and then ground pound and aim where Bowser is. Then he shoots fire on the surface. After a couple hits or so, then when you try to collect your star, Bowser actually grows giant again. And then you basically do the same thing, but with no surface to work with and anti-gravity. And rinse and repeat 3 more times, you've got another good 3D boss in the Mario game. Number 2, Super Mario 3D Land. This boss is more of a stage, if I'm being honest, but that it's still a blast. And one of my favorite parts about this boss is running around and taking shortcuts. My favorite part is near the end. Super Mario 3D Land's boss is pretty unique because it's the first time that we ever saw a stage for a final boss. Besides maybe New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but I don't think that's a stage. And that's actually where Mario 3D World got the stage-like boss from this game. So, there's these platforms that crack when you actually step on it. Bowser will actually start shooting fireballs a couple times, and when you get close enough, he'll move to another platform that's pretty far away. He's throwing spike balls at you and then jumps to a platform that's even so let me climb this rope with Goombas for some reason, which I think that's really disappointing. Like, Goombas are actually the only regular small Mario enemy that you're ever going to see in this boss. And that's sad because they're like the least threatening Mario enemy of all time. So, yeah. I mean, you could have at least given us a better enemy, but I mean, whatever. Back to the boss. Back to the boss fight. He climbs some stairs, and there's actually a Donkey Kong reference because Bowser actually throws some barrels at you, but chances are you're not going to see that because it's a quick section of the boss. And then there's the 2D-like section, possibly referencing the first Mario game, where boss fights then were in 2D. Then Bowser will try to shoot you with more fireballs, but if you jump in time, the fireballs will break. Or Bowser can also hit you with his tail, and you can also break the wall with the tail. Opening up another spot where you can press a button and let Bowser fall into the lava. But then there's still actually another section that you have to tackle down. Then there's more stairs, and Bowser's even more powerful this time. He's shooting purple fireballs, and those are bigger and faster. Then there's a bunch of platforms that will break, and then you touch them. And then the final section, Bowser is actually chasing you from behind, and there's a bunch of blocks in your way. If you're not at least Big Mario, then you're screwed. Unless you're like freaking Cosmic. And then you're on the boss. It's not a very hard boss per se, but it's very creative and has a lot to offer. Number 1, Super Mario. You did not believe that. Number 1 is actually, of course, Super Mario Galaxy. Okay, yeah, sure. Some of you are probably gonna disagree with me for reasons that I honestly do not know about. Now until the start. This game's boss is actually pretty similar to one of the other bosses that you already fight before this one. It kind of functions the same way in the start. Buzz jumps onto the surface, making electricity flow through the ground. Then he'll turn into a boulder and try to hit you, but you're supposed to hit him, which you might not know that because he'll hurt you. So, and then he'll start spinning fast, and then in time you gotta hit him. And then he'll do the same thing, but you have to hit him 2 times while spinning. And then you and Bowser are now on a different surface. Now Bowser starts shooting fire flames, and then he'll go into a shell and try to hit you. But there's some objects that you're supposed to hit Bowser with while he's in the shell. And you hit him, he shoots 5 fireballs instead of 3 like he did before. Then Bowser starts rolling into a shell. After a couple seconds, he will jump up, and there's these circles on the surface. I'm gonna say they're probably electricity. My script is kind of dumb. And when Bowser jumps at the right time, he'll hit the circles and fire will appear. And you'll hit Bowser and make him run around the surface. And if you're able to time it and you hit Bowser, he starts shooting like 20 or 15 fireballs around the surface. But you're not going to be able to see how much of them because he'll shoot them around the whole thing like I said before. And you're only in one spot. So then basically you do the same thing as before. You see what? This is like the best final boss in my opinion in the Mario franchise. There's so much to offer. It's a little bit less than Mario 3 Land, but I'm saying that because the script for Mario 3D Land was longer. And that's probably because of the Goomba session I talked about. But still, Mario Galaxy has an amazing boss, so if you've never played Mario Galaxy, you should definitely pick it up and play the boss. It's amazing. So guys, here's my end card. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like what you see, then consider subscribing. Only 2% of you guys watching are subscribed currently, so it could help me a lot. So next milestone is probably gonna be about 2,000 subs, and pretty close to there. So I'm sorry if you don't really like my upload schedule. It used to be a lot better, but I didn't post this kind of content before, so I'm gonna change up my content, and you guys seem to like this a lot more. So if you guys like what you see, then consider subscribing and get me to 2K subs.